Welcome, dads. My name is Neil Patterson. I'm a guy. And my friend, Mr. Richard Dick Long, said I should do a rig rundown. And that's what like really influential musicians do. I'm not an influential musician. I'm just a guy doing the Peter Pan thing into his 40s. But let's do it. Rig rundown with Neil P. Yo. So. Yeah, fucking dads. What's up, dads? Metal, heavy metal dads. Okay, so first of all, as far as my rig is concerned, this is my guitar. Check it out. This is a Reverend Sensei Purple Burst, and I think it's an RA, or RH. I don't know exactly what model it is. It stands for Rail Hammers. If you look right here, these are Rail Hammer pickups designed by Mr. Joe Naylor. I endorse the Reverend Guitar Company out of Toledo, Ohio. Everywhere I go, I fly the Reverend flag, and I tell people, you should play Reverend guitar, because it's bitchin' and it stays in tune. And these pickups are cool because this little thing right here, this little line, it's a very tight bottom end, is what they say. And here are like pronounced highs and whatnot, is what they say. But all in all, it's good for doing the funky stuff, you know, and then you get into this like crunchy shit. So that's part one, my guitar. Pretty nice. What amp am I playing? Now this right here, I've had this amp since 1996. This is a Marshall JCM 900, 100 watt high gain dual reverb. Model number 4100. Now, this is a modded out Marshall. I bought it in 1996 with all of the, they call it factory parts. I recently had it modded out with a Mercury Magnetics output converter, and I'm not an amp guy, I don't even know what that fucking means, but there's a dude named Dean Zink, if you're in the Michigan area and you want to head up to 248 area code by Walled Lake, Whitmore Lake, Pontiac area. He's the best amp guy in town as far as I know. And Dean Zink told me, get the Mercury output transformer. He modded it out and put some new components in here, and I don't really know exactly what they do. I just know that he said it would make it sound better. So this is a modded Marshall JCM 900 100 watt dual reverb head from the 90s. The amp is pretty good, and I've stuck with it because A, I can't afford a new one, and B, I've got this modded out enough and I've got it taken care of. It's kind of like a car. If you have an older car, but you keep getting new components on the inside of it, and you keep having someone who really knows what they're doing take care of it, then that car should continue to work through the years. 1996, do the math. How many years ago was that? Mm-hmm. You're not good at math?
Mm-hmm. 30?
No, it's 24, 20, it's 25 years old. 25-year-old amp. So yeah, you're currently in the middle of my rig rundown. All right, now let's get into the distortion and the clean, as I explained before right here. All this right here is just your standard like Boss foot switch. This is an FS6. I think it's about a $50 pedal, but this is a really reliable foot switch. It's a stereo thing, so you can switch on the reverb on and off. And I use the amp's distortion because it has great distortion. So the question is like, so you got your clean, you got your distortion. Now, how can I apply some effects to that? And I'm going to tell you how I apply effects to this amp. My best advice is go through the effects loop and run your delay, run your chorus, and the things that you want it to sound pretty, run those through the fucking effects loop, because what that's going to do is it's going to actually put the effects on the preamp, and then it's going to be distorted, as opposed to if you just run it through your chain. If you just run it through your chain and you put delay, what it's going to happen is it's going to distort the delayed signal instead of distorting the entire preamp. Now, I'm not like an amp connoisseur, I don't know exactly what that means, but I just know, and trust me, it sounds way better if you put your delay through the fucking effects loop. Yes, I don't know the exact science behind it. All I know is if you run the pretty stuff, and what I consider pretty stuff is to be like chorus, tremolo, delay. If you run the pretty stuff through the effects loop, it sounds way better than you running all of this crap and then trying to put the delay. And for some reason, it's like way softer. There's like a softer. It like makes the delay softer as opposed to being this like jarring delay when you run it direct, when you run your signal direct into the delay pedal and then you distort it. It sounds all crappy, but if you listen to this is distorted delay and... So that's my advice. Run your shit through the effects loop. Now let's get to what is actually being used here on this pedal board. Through the pretty effects loop, I got this Analog Chorus by MXR. I don't know why. I just like it. It's pretty. And then this delay, what I like about this carbon copy, this is an analog delay. And what I like about the analog delay as opposed to digital delay is it feels a little warmer than a digital delay. It's not as precise, and I like that about it because I would rather have it sound kind of washy than have it be like super precise. I'm not trying to be the Edge, I'm trying to be Neil, and so I just have... If you hear the delayed notes, it's a little... It's a little like, dare I say muddy, but just not as like precise. Yeah, so I like that because it's not as in your face. And then I love running this shit through the effects loop, and that's the main thing I'm gonna repeat like 8,000 times. So let's get to my overdrive. I used a tube screamer for years, but I recently upgraded to this precision drive, which is by Horizon Devices. The dude is Misha from the band Periphery. I bought this because of their online campaign. They had like a meme-worthy online campaign, and I tested it out. I like its sponginess, and also I like that it has a built-in noise gate. When I'm running this direct, this overdrive, and then I switch to the distortion channel, we got like heavy distortion. So there's like endless sustain. But the cool thing is there's a noise gate, so it cuts out. And I love the endless sustain because I do stuff where I plop on the delay and I pop on both distortions, and then we can just do... I don't even have to pick. I can just literally hold notes forever. Which works even better when the amp is cranked. Like right now the amp is at 1 and I'm still getting that much sustain. It's unbelievable. Can you believe the sustain? It's just, I love it so much. Yeah. This is my advice to you too, as well, as if you're putting your own rig together, you just find what works and you stick with it. And this shit has worked for fucking 20 years. I used to run a sonic maximizer through this Marshall because I wanted it to have like scooped sound. And it's like, don't fuck with what ain't broke. A Marshall 100 watt head, you only need that distortion. Like listen. Here's another thing that I like to use. We used to call this the chocolate pedal. And I used to have an OC2 and then I had an OC3. But they've been, Boss has been making, I'm a Boss guy. I'm a Boss guy, have been for fucking a long time. I only have one Boss pedal on here. But this is the OC5. This is the newest of the octave. And it's cool because it has 1 octave below, it has 2 octave below, and then it has an octave up. And I like to use it on the vintage setting. And then we get kind of this like 311 type octavey shit. So just that funky weirdness. Yeah, the octave is the shit. Oh, and I've been using the octave I've been using all this shit for like the same shit basically for 20 years. Okay, and then you get to just your basic ass right here. This is basic. This is the basic ass, most basic Jim Dunlop Crybaby wah wah pedal, what Jimi Hendrix made famous. What I like to do is when I'm doing solos, if I really want to cut through the mix and cut through the bass, you got your distortion, you got your amp distortion, you got your overdrive, you got your delay, and then you put this on, and you don't even necessarily like sweep it. You can just have it be at like 75%. It adds like even more sustain to where it's just ridiculous amount of sustain. So that's me, like, I'm not necessarily sweeping it a whole bunch, but I have it engaged and I'm sweeping it to like about 75% and I'm just staying there. Last but not least, right here is the Whammy pedal, and I use this. There's a whole bunch of different fucking settings on here, but right here is the classic Whammy 2 octave up, which you've all heard Tom Morello and you've all heard fucking Dimebag Darrell do their shit with the Whammy. You've heard Buckethead do it. You've heard all this shit. You've heard this shit. So yeah. The setting I like the most on this Whammy is adding a fifth, because it actually duals as a harmonizer, and you get, and I've made videos about this before, but you get this cool kind of like harmony type shit going on. Which is really cool when you put on the chorus and the delay, and then you got 1/5 up on the Whammy, and then you can do this really spacey shit, which I enjoy. So there's a lot you can do. Now you see a lot of motherfuckers that have, like, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I have 7 pedals. You see a lot of motherfuckers that got like 20 of them. This is all I need, and this is what I've stuck with for years and years and years. 1 chorus, 1 delay, 1 overdrive, and 1 octave, a basic ass wah, and then this fucking Whammy. So you can go. So like that's it. That's all you need to know, is that all you really need is the pedals you like the most, a basic ass amp with an effects loop and a decent fucking guitar. And I feel like keep it simple. Don't try to, I don't know, don't make it too fucking complicated. Like people who are running like 1 amp for their distortion and 1 amp for their cleans and having an A/B switch. I mean, that's all for like rich people that have guitar techs. Keep it simple. You want to do as much as you can with as little as possible. And so I have 7 pedals. I have an A/B switch that switches from distortion. I use the amp's distortion. I use the amp's clean channel. And I just run the pretty shit through the effects loop. and I can make a whole lot of cool sounds with it. At least sounds that I know work well for the music that I write. So this is my rig rundown, dads. Thanks for joining me, and I'm pretty sure it's mostly dads or gentlemen in their 30s posing as dads. But we're all dads at heart, right? Thank you, Allie, for filming.
You're welcome.
This is my shit.
Welcome to this episode of Stomping on My Boyfriend's Pedals.
No, don't stomp. I know they're called stomp boxes, but please don't stomp on them.
I just start like Irish like dancing on them.
No. Hey, do you like this video? Do you want to see more stuff like it? Well, consider being a patron of my Patreon page, patreon.com/Neil P. If you pledge monthly, you get some perks, you get some exclusive content, and you get to help stuff like this get made on the monthly. Yo, check it out.